draw the series at 2-2. We will have more reaction to come in the final hour of Sports World. We'll also be back at Hoylake as well in the next hour as the Open Championship reaches its conclusion, and it's looking very, very likely that American Brian Harman will be winning his first major title at Royal Liverpool in Hoylake. Do stay with us for the final hour of Sports World, but first let's break for the latest BBC News. Hello, this is Julie Candler with the BBC News. A state of emergency has been declared in southern Rhodes, where the Greek authorities are trying to contain 3 catastrophic wildfires. Earth-moving machines are creating firewalls to prevent the blazes reaching densely forested areas. Nikos Mouchous, who owns a restaurant about 30 kilometers from the wildfires, praised local people for the help they're giving.
Rhodian people, residents of the island, not only local authorities, but mostly residents of the island. It's incredible. You cannot imagine how many people, they leave their jobs, they don't go anywhere. They go only to places to help those people and local residents that left their houses because of the fire. The local authorities, they try to bring some water, food, etc., and they try also to help as much as they can those people.
The Israeli President Isaac Herzog is holding what his office describes as an urgent meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu at the hospital where the Prime Minister is recovering from an operation to fit a pacemaker. Mr. Herzog has described the current showdown over plans to overhaul the judiciary as a time of emergency. Our Middle East analyst is Sebastian Usher.
Tens of thousands of protesters are making a last-ditch effort to stop the first part of the government's radical reform of the judiciary from becoming law in the coming hours. There's been added drama after Mr. Netanyahu was rushed to hospital overnight. He says he's feeling great, and his office says he'll be discharged on Monday. That would be in time for the vote on the new bill, which would seriously limit the powers of the Supreme Court. Opposition politicians are demanding more time to reach a compromise, while hundreds of military reservists are threatening not to report for service if it goes through.
The authorities in Spain have reported a relatively high turnout in the snap general election. The Socialist Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, is facing a strong challenge from the Conservative People's Party. There's a possibility the far-right Vox party may enter government for the first time in coalition. Sergi Forcada Freixas is at a Madrid polling station.
Polling stations are closing at 8 p.m. local time here, and then counting tends to go quite fast. So we will get a clear picture of the results later tonight. We will have to see which of the two blocks is able to form a majority, if any of them. It's the first time ever that Spain is holding general elections in July. The people are showing up, at least so far. There was also a record in postal voting. A lot of people going to the post office ahead of today to be able to cast their votes.
Poland has launched a firm protest with Russia over what Warsaw said were threats against a sovereign state. On Friday, Mr. Putin had described the western part of Poland as Stalin's gift to the country. World news from the BBC. A building has collapsed in Cameroon's biggest city, Douala, killing at least 12 people. The 4-story block is said to have fallen into a neighbouring building in the Ange Raphael area in the early hours of Sunday morning. Rescue workers are still searching the rubble for survivors. Germany's Defence Minister Boris Pistorius has abruptly cancelled a planned trip to Iraq and Jordan, with ministry officials citing security worries. The trip was abandoned as the plane carrying him and his delegation was ready to take off from Berlin. The Defence Ministry and Armed Forces officials are said to be concerned after a crowd in Baghdad set fire to Sweden's embassy, angry at the recent burning of a Quran by a man in Stockholm. The ruling party in Cambodia says it's on course for a landslide victory in an election where it ran virtually unopposed after the main opposition party was disqualified. Cambodia's long-term Prime Minister Hun Sen said a turnout of over 80% showed support for his rivals had collapsed. The government made it illegal to call for a boycott or to cast a spoiled ballot, something the founder of the opposition Candlelight Party, Sam Rainsy, encouraged Cambodians to do.
Spoiling the ballot is the only way for opposition supporters to show their discontent, to say that we are not happy, we have been excluded from the competition, but we managed to come back in an indirect way.
The authorities in Iran have banned a film festival that put out a publicity poster featuring an actress not wearing a hijab. The poster for the festival shows the Iranian actress Susan Taslimi from a film that was released in 1982. The authorities in Iran have been increasing the enforcement of the mandatory hijab after mass protests challenged the regulation. BBC News.